Hello, this is Joe Pryor of the virtual real estate team in Oklahoma City. I'm a pure investment specialist, and if you've watched any of my videos, you're probably going, what is he telling me that I don't know already? Because I always talk primarily about investments. But I want to get kind of specific about what I think is the future investments. Back in the mania crazy days, I used to, like 2004, 2005, I'd go to San Francisco 4 times a year. I'd also go to San Diego, I'd go to Los Angeles to speak to large investment groups. And the interesting thing about that time is that there was a lot of places you could buy. I mean, you would go to one of these meetings and there would be booths set up for 30 cities at the time. And obviously there was a lot of craziness back then. If you've watched The Big Short, you certainly know it. But that's not the time we're in right now. We're in 2019. You got to qualify for mortgages again. The prices are pretty much supply and demand the way that they should be. But the interesting thing right now is affordability and availability are two things that I see that are disappearing, not just for investors, but for owner occupants too. And it's a real problem. And the other thing that I see that really bugs me is cities want bigger and bigger houses. I don't know why, mainly because I'm happy at my age it's smaller and smaller ones. But it makes affordability very difficult. So now when I go out to California again, there's not many cities, 3, 4, 5, 6, not many cities represented because that's how affordability is disappearing. And that's one of the reasons we started about 4 years ago experimenting with duplexes. And I want to really kind of tout duplexes for you today, mainly because I think to a great extent it's going to be the future of real estate investing. Now, we quit building duplexes in Oklahoma City back in the 1980s, mainly because land was so damn cheap. You could just afford to buy a single family for not much money, and the land was low, and so that was those days. It's not that way today. Now land is very, very expensive. And because of that reason, it's being harder and harder to keep prices under $200,000 in our market for a single family home. Now what we're doing is we're doing duplexes. And so instead of dealing with $50,000 lots, we're dealing with $25,000 lots. So because we're putting 2 properties on 1 lot. So that divides out the cost. Also, there's some efficiencies in building in duplexes. A roof line. You're building 1 structure with a firewall in between. So you still have 2 kitchens, you still have 4 bathrooms, you still have certain expenses, but it's considerably lower. And the cash flow is fantastic, and vacancy is very, very low. And so when I do a return on investment analysis, duplexes are really, really excellent. Now, the one thing it hadn't had in the past is appreciation in comparison to single families. Now, I'm not getting rid of single families here in terms of recommendations. We're adding to the mix, and it makes it affordable when you can buy, something that may be $135,000 a side. But we also find that we have a terrific draw. We have older people that are downsizing. We've got apartment dwellers that want a garage and a nicer place and a little bit of a backyard. We have millennials that maybe, strapped with student loans, aren't buying, and they get a roommate and they want the duplexes. They're in affordable areas, affordable price ranges. Young families, but not school-driven where you have 2 or 3 kids. And so what we're finding is this is very, very powerful for us to do. And so duplexes are something that we are constantly doing. Now, the exciting thing is that the appreciation is starting to tighten up. And what we're doing on our duplexes going forward is doing separate legals. What that means is one side has a legal, the other side has a legal. Now, it's still, you can do it with 1 loan, but down the road, you don't have to hassle with the idea of having to sell the whole thing. You can now sell half duplexes, and they will sell because they're lower than single family homes and people are looking for affordability. So we have new duplex communities right now. We have duplexes at $300,000 that are 3-bed, 2-bath, 2-car. We have a duplex community coming in at $370,000, bigger, 4 bedrooms per side, and an average price in that area of $646,000 for a single family. So we know that that's going to be very, very powerful. We're very excited about what's coming up. There's more coming. There always will be more coming. If you're an investor, duplexes is something that you have to consider going forward. And remember, even up to a 4-plex, Fannie Mae will give you 1 mortgage. And so you can maximize the number of doors for the limitation that Fannie Mae puts on your mortgages, a maximum of 10 per person. This is Joe Pryor of the virtual real estate team in Oklahoma City, where we deliver traditional real estate values at the speed of technology.